Puta, totoo ba to? Ibinenta ako ng sarili kong nanay? The words tasted like poison in Nina's mouth, a silent scream trapped in her throat. Ang bigat ng dibdib niya, parang pinipiga. Hindi, mas masahol pa. Parang sinasaksak ng paulit-ulit. 14,000. Yun daw ang halaga niya. 14,000 para sa operasyon ni Bunso. 14,000 para sa buhay ng kapatid niya, kapalit ng buhay niya. The bumpy ride on the Partas bus heading to Manila was a blur. Each lurch of the vehicle mirrored the turmoil inside her. Gabi na, madilim sa labas, at mas madilim pa ang nararamdaman niya. Kanina lang, she was arguing with her mother, Aling Martha, in their small nipa hut in San Felipe, a place that suddenly felt like distant, painful memory. Ma, please, wag naman ganito. Paano si Bunso kung wala ako? Pakiusap niya, a desperate tremor in her voice. Namumugto na ang mga mata niya sa kaiiyak, pero tila bato ang puso ng ina. Aling Martha's face was a mask of grim determination, her eyes avoiding Nina's. Kailangan, Nina. Para sa kapatid mo. Para sa future niya. Her voice was flat, devoid of the warmth Nina craved, the warmth that had been missing for so long. Si Ninong Joey mo na ang bahala sa'yo. Mabait yun. Aalagaan ka niya. Aalagaan? O gagawing katulong? O baka iba pa, ma? The thought made her stomach churn. Ninong Joey. Her baptismal godfather. A man she barely remembered, a vague figure from her early childhood, now suddenly her supposed savior, or her buyer. Huwag kang bastos, Nina. Malaki ang utang na loob natin kay Joey. At pera niya ang magliligtas sa kapatid mo, sigaw ni Aling Martha, the first flicker of emotion finally showing, anger. Wala nang atrasan to, nakausap ko na siya. Susunduin ka niya sa terminal. And just like that, her life was packed into the single, worn-out duffel bag. No goodbyes to Bunso, who was sleeping soundly, unaware of the sacrifice his ate was being forced to make. Baka nga mas mabuti na iyon. Masakit. Sobrang sakit. The bus finally hissed to a stop at the Cubao terminal. The air was thick with the smell of diesel fumes, and as suffocating humidity. Nina wasn't used to pagbaba niya, nanginginig ang mga tuhod niya. She clutched her bag tightly, feeling small and lost amidst the chaos of honking jeepneys, shouting vendors, and streams of people. Then, she saw him. Or rather, he saw her. A tall man, impeccably dressed in a crisp polo shirt and dark slacks, stood out from the crowd. His hair had streaks of gray at the temples, and his face, though etched with lines of concern, felt foreign. This was Ninong Joey. Nina. His voice was gentle, a stark contrast to the harshness she'd endured hours ago. She could only nod, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. Ang lamig ng kamay niya when he offered to take her bag. Tara na. Mahaba ang biyahe mo. You must be tired. Aling Martha was there too, waiting give a sleek, black SUV that looked like it cost more than their entire barangay. Ang bilis naman nakarating ni Mama dito. Or maybe, she never really went home after putting Nina on the bus. Maybe this was all meticulously planned. The conversation between her mother and Ninong Joey was brief, businesslike. Cold. Salamat ulit, Joey. Malaking tulong to, Aling Martha said, her eyes darting towards Nina for a split second, then away. Walang yakap. Walang imag-iingat ka, anak. Walang anuman, Martha. Basta, asikasuhin mo na agad yung kay Michael, Ninong Joey replied, his gaze lingering on Nina with an expression she couldn't quite decipher. Awa. Guilt. Then, Aling Martha turned to Nina, her face unreadable. Magpakabait ka dito, Nina. Sundin mo lahat ng sasabihin ng Ninong Joey mo. Tapos, inabot nito ang isang maliit na sobre. Pera to, kaunti lang, panggastos mo. Nina just stared at the envelope. Hindi niya kinuha. Anong gagawin niya sa pera? Pambili ng dignidad niyang nawala. Ninong Joey gently took the envelope from Aling Martha. Ako na ang bahala sa mga pangangailangan ni Nina. He then opened the car door for her. Hop in, Nina. Let's get you home. Home! The word felt like a cruel joke. The drive to Ninong Joy's home was mostly silent. Nina stared out the window, watching the city lights blur past, each one's painful reminder of how far she was from San Felipe, from Bunso, from the life she knew. The car was too clean, too quiet, too rich. It made her worn-out clothes and cheap slippers feel even more inadequate. They pulled up to a massive gate, which opened silently to reveal the sprawling mansion. It wasn't a house, it was a palace. Manicured lawns, a fountain, and a house so big it could probably fit 10 of their nipa huts inside. Naramdaman niya ang titig ni Ninong Joy. This is Dubai home, Nina. And now, it's yours too, he said softly, trying to sound reassuring. But his words only amplified her despair. This wasn't home. This was a gilded cage. As she stepped out of the car, her legs felt like lead. Each step towards the grand entrance felt like a step further into an abyss. The air inside was cool, a stark contrast to the sweltering heat outside. May mga katulong na sumalubong sa kanila, their faces polite but curious. Pinagtitinginan siya. She felt like an exhibit, charity case. A purchased good. Ninong Joy led her through a maze of opulent rooms, each one more intimidating than the last. Finally, they stopped in front of a beautifully furnished bedroom. It was larger than their entire house in San Felipe. May sariling banyo. May malaking kama na parang ulap sa lambot. This will be your room, Nina. Magpahinga ka na. If you need anything, just call Manang Tess, he said, gesturing towards an older woman who was arranging some things on the dresser. Nina just stood there, numb. Hindi niya alam anong sasabihin. Anong mararamdaman? Ninong Joy hesitated at the door. He looked like he wanted to say more, but he didn't. He just gave her a small, sad smile and left, closing the door softly behind him. Alone in the vast, silent room, Nina finally let her walls crumble. She sank onto the plush carpet, not daring to touch the pristine bed. The sobs racked her body, silent at first, then growing into gut-wrenching wails of grief and anger. Ang sakit-sakit. Ibinenta siya. It didn't matter if it was for Bunso. The betrayal cut deep. She must have cried for hours. When her tears finally subsided, an exhausted emptiness took over. She looked around the luxurious room, the prison painted in gold. Then, her eyes fell on her phone, cheap, old model. May isang text message. From her mother. Her hands trembled as she opened it. It was short, brutal, and sealed her fate. Wala ka nang babalikan sa San Felipe, Nina. Magsimula ka na ng bagong buhay dyan. Para sa atin lahat to. Lumipas ang mga araw na parang hangin para kay Nina. Hindi niya namamalayan pero nararamdaman niya ang bigat. Her life in Ninong Joy's mansion was a strange, silent existence. Para siyang isang tagong alaga. She had a beautiful room, clothes she never dreamed of wearing, and food that could feed their entire neighborhood in San Felipe for a week. Pero anong silbi? She felt like a prisoner in a 5-star jail. Hindi siya pinayagang lumabas ng bahay, maliban sa malawak na garden na parang wala namang katapusan. School. Magpahinga ka muna, Nina. We'll talk about that later, Ninong Joy would say gently whenever she'd tear aside to bring it up, which wasn't often. Natatakot siyang magtanong. Natatakot siyang baka may kapalit na naman. Ang pinakamasakit. Hindi niya matawagan si Bunso. O si Mama. Not that she wanted to talk to her mother, pero si Bunso. Kumusta na kaya ang kapatid niya? Nakakamiss yung tawa noon, yung pangulit. Ninong Joy had once placed a sleek, new phone on her bedside table. You can use this. May load na iyan. Nina just stared at it, hindi niya ginalaw. Para saan pa? Anong sasabihin niya? Na okay lang siya dito sa kulungan niyang maganda? Na masarap ang pagkain habang sila, baka nagtitiyaga sa tuyot kanin? The guilt was a constant, knowing presence. Manang Tess, the head housekeeper, was kind enough. Tinuturuan siya ng mga gawaing bahay na hindi naman talaga pinapagawa sa kanya. Para di ka mainip, Hija, sabi nito. So, Nina found solace in the kitchen. Doon, kahit paano, may kontrol siya. She would cook in silence, preparing dishes she learned from her lola back in San Felipe. Adobo, sinigang, pinakbet. Simple lang, pero yun ang alam niya. Ninong Joey would always praise her cooking. Ang sarap nito, Nina. You're a natural. He'd tear aside to start conversation, ask about her day. Pero Nina would just mumble a polite, salamat po, or an okay lang po, her eyes fixed on her plate. Ayaw niyang makipag-usap. Ayaw niyang maging komportable. Because if she did, baka makalimutan niya kung bakit siya nandito. Baka makalimutan niyang ibinenta siya. Gabi-gabi, bago matulog si Ninong Joey, she'd hear a soft knock on her door. Then, pause. Pagbukas niya ng kaunti, may baso ng mainit na gatas sa labas. Sometimes, may kasamang cookies. The first few nights, hindi niya ginagalaw. Hinahayaan niyang lumamig doon hanggang sa kunin ulit ni Manang Tess kinaumagahan. It was her silent protest, her small act of defiance. Tampo. Galit. Lungkot. Halo-halo. Pero isang gabi, she was so hungry. Hindi siya masyadong kumain ng dinner. The warm milk smelled inviting. Slowly, she picked it up. It was still warm. Uminom siya. For a moment, she felt a flicker of something other than anger. A teeny, almost imperceptible warmth that had nothing to do with the milk. Pinilig niya ang ulo. Huwag kang bibigay, Nina. One particularly quiet night, hindi siya makatulog. The silence of the mansion was deafening, a stark contrast to the familiar sounds of crickets and the distant barking of dogs in San Felipe. Bumaba siya sa kusina, hoping a glass of water would help. The kitchen was dimly lit, only the small light above the stove was on. As she reached for a glass, she heard a soft sound. A sniffle. Then another. Nanigas siya. May tao. Dahan-dahan, sumilip siya. And there, slumped over the kitchen counter, shoulders shaking, was Ninong Joey. Umiiyak. Her stern, enigmatic, and wealthy Ninong Joey crying. Hindi niya alam anong gagawin. Should she leave? Pretend she saw nothing. Pero parang may pumipigil sa mga paa niya. He must have sensed her presence because he suddenly straightened up, quickly wiping his eyes. Nang makita siya nito, there was a flash of surprise, then embarrassment, in his eyes. Nina! Gising ka pa pala. His voice was hoarse. She just stood there, clutching the empty glass. Uinom lang po sana ako ng tubig. Ang awkward. Super. He nodded, trying to compose himself. CJ. Ako rin, kukuha lang din. He opened the refrigerator, pretending to look for something, but Nina knew. She knew he was trying to hide his vulnerability. Silence stretched between them, thick and uncomfortable. Parang ang tagal bago may nagsalita ulit. Okay ka lang po. Ninong. The question slipped out before she could stop it. Bakit niya tinanong? Ano bang pakialam niya? He closed the refrigerator, a bottle of water in his hand. He didn't look at her. Yeh. Medyo napagod lang siguro sa trabaho. He took a long swig of water. Nina knew it was more than that. Yung iyak niya kanina, hindi yun iyak sa pagod lang. But she didn't press. Sino ba naman siya para magtanong? Then, he surprised her. Kumusta ka naman dito, Nina? He asked, his voice softer now, tinged with a weariness that went beyond physical exhaustion. I mean to. Kumusta ka talaga? She looked down at her bare feet on the cold tiled floor. Ano bang isasagot niya? Na para siyang halaman na binunot sa lupa at itinanim sa gintong paso. Na namimiss niya si Bunso. Nagalit pa rin siya sa nanay niya at sa kanya rin kahit kaunti. Okay lang naman po, she lied, the words tasting like ash in her mouth. He sighed, heavy sound that seemed to fill the entire kitchen. Nina, I know this is difficult. Para sa'yo. Para sa ating lahat. He paused, then continued, hindi ko naman ginusto na mangyari ito ng ganito, pero, he trailed off, unable to finish the sentence. For the first time, Nina saw something other than the rich benefactor or the distant godfather. She saw a man who looked lost, burdened, maybe even sad. Bakit niyo po to ginagawa? She finally dared to ask, her voice barely a whisper. Bakit ako? Ninong Joey finally met her gaze. His eyes were red-rimmed, and in them, she saw a raw, unfiltered emotion that made her breath catch. Hindi awa. Hindi guilt. Parang lungkot na maihalong ewan. Something she couldn't name. Kasi kailangan, he said, his voice heavy. At dahil nangako ako. Nangako? Kanino po? He looked away again, towards the dark window that reflected their muted images. Sa isang taong mahalaga sa akin. Matagal na. He took another sip of water, his knuckles white as he gripped the bottle. Matulog ka na, Nina. Gabing-gabi na. He turned to leave, but before he reached the door, he stopped. Without looking back, he said, Salamat sa pag-aalala, Nina. Then he was gone, leaving Nina alone in the quiet kitchen, the empty glass still in her hand. Her heart was pounding. Takot. Yes, still there. Pero may sumingit na bago. Confusion. And a teeny, unwelcome flicker of curiosity. Ang gulo. Ang gulo-gulo ng nararamdaman niya. Anak. Katulong. O alaga? She still didn't know. Pero parang may nag-iba ngayong gabi. That brief, hesitant conversation in the kitchen, a crack in the wall he had built around himself, and perhaps, a tiny chip in hers too. Bumalik siya sa kwarto niya. The warm milk from earlier was long gone. But tonight, for some reason, the silence of the mansion didn't feel quite as suffocating. It felt expectant. Weeks turned into a month. Nina's life settled into a quiet, predictable routine. Cook, clean, kahit hindi naman talaga kailangan, read old pocketbooks Manang Tess found for her, and avoid Ninong Joey as much as possible. The awkward late-night kitchen encounter had created new, unspoken tension between them. Hindi na siya nag-iiwan ng gatas sa tapat ng pinto niya. Nina wasn't sure if she was relieved or disappointed. Then, one morning, Ninong Joey announced, may pupuntahan tayo mamayang gabi, Nina. Isang charity gala. I want you to come with me. Nina's fork clattered onto her plate. Po? Gala? Bakit po ako? The thought of being paraded in front of rich, sophisticated people made her stomach clench. Ano namang isusuot niya? Anong gagawin niya doon? It's for a good cause. And I think it's time you saw a bit more of the city, outside of these walls, he said, his tone leaving no room for argument. Manang Tess will help you get ready. May pinadala na akong damit para sa'yo. Panic fluttered in Nina's chest. Damit? Anong klaseng damit? Siguradong mamahalin. Siguradong hindi bagay sa kanya. True enough, the dress laid out on her bed that afternoon was a dream. Isang simple but elegant navy blue gown, the fabric soft and flowing. It looked like something the princess would wear. Nung sinukat niya, it fit perfectly, as if it was made for her. For a fleeting moment, looking at her reflection, she felt almost pretty. But the feeling was quickly doused by a wave of hiya. Sino siya para magsuot ng ganito? The charity gala was held at a grand hotel ballroom, sparkling with chandeliers and filled with people who looked like they stepped out of a magazine. Lahat ang gaganda ng suot ang mamahali ng alahas. Nina felt like a common weed in a field of exotic flowers. Clinging to Ninong Joey's arm, she tried to make herself as small as possible. Relax, Nina, Ninong Joey whispered, his hand gently squeezing hers. You look beautiful. Naramdaman niya ang pag-init ng pisngi niya. Beautiful. Siya. Impossible. Then, a woman approached them. Tall, stunningly beautiful, with a confident smile that could disarm anyone. She was wearing a dazzling red dress that hugged her curves in all the right places. Her eyes, sharp and intelligent, scanned Nina from head to toe, a flicker of something unreadable in them. Joey, darling, the woman chirped, air kissing Ninong Joey's cheeks. It's been too long. Angela, Ninong Joey smiled, you warmth in his voice that Nina hadn't heard before. Good to see you. This is Nina. Angela's gaze landed on Nina again, and this time, the assessment was clear. It was a mix of curiosity and disdain. Oh. Hello, Nina, she said, her voice smooth as silk, but with an underlying edge. Are you relative, Joey? She's Jiwai's goddaughter. Staying with me for a while, Ninong Joey explained. Goddaughter. Angela's perfectly sculpted eyebrow arched. How quaint. She then turned her full attention to Nina, her smile never wavering, but her eyes were cold. So, Nina. What do you do? Are you in college? What course? Nina froze. Ang daming tanong. Nakakahiya. Ano nang isasagot niya? Na high school graduate lang siya. Nagaling siyang probinsya. Na nabinenta siya. Ako po she stammered, her voice barely audible. She's taking a break from her studies right now, Ninong Joey interjected smoothly, trying to save her. But Angela wasn't done. She leaned in, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, though it was loud enough for Nina to hear clearly. And break? Or wala talagang balak mag-aral? I mean, let's be honest, Hija. Some people just aren't cut out for academics. Kahit diploma wala ka, bakit ka andito sa ganitong event? This is for people who, well, you know. Her eyes flicked dismissively over Nina's simple dress, then back to her face. Hindi ka ba nauo? Each word was like teeny, poison dart. Walang kwenta. Yun ang naramdaman ni Nina. All the insecurities she had tried to bury resurfaced, stronger than ever. She felt her eyes sting, and she bit her lip to stop herself from crying. Nasa kanya ang lahat ng wala ako, Nina thought bitterly. Si Angela, maganda, matalino, mayaman, confident. Siya. Isang probinsyana na napadpad lang sa Maynila dahil sa utang na loob, o mas masahol pa, dahil sa pera. She wanted to disappear. To run away and hide. Before she could utter a word, or worse, burst into tears, Ninong Joey's hand tightened on her arm. His voice, when he spoke, was dangerously calm, but with an undercurrent of steel that surprised Nina. Angela, he said, his smile gone. That's enough. Nina is my guest. And she belongs here as much as anyone else. He looked directly at Angela, his gaze unwavering. Perhaps more than some who are only here to flaunt their assets. Angela's smile faltered, a flicker of shock in her eyes. Clearly, she wasn't used to being rebuked. Without another word, Ninong Joey turned, his hand still firmly on Nina's arm. Let's get some air, Nina. He steered her away from Angela, who was left standing there, her red dress suddenly looking a bit too loud. He didn't stop until they were outside the ballroom, in quieter hallway. Nina was trembling, mixture of humiliation and a strange, fluttering feeling in her chest. Kilig. Hindi pwede. He was her Ninong. He was just being protective. Are you okay? He asked, his voice gentle again, his eyes searching hers with concern. She couldn't meet his gaze. Oo po, she mumbled, though her voice was shaky. Sorry po. Nakakahiya. Hey. He gently tilted her chin up, forcing her to look at him. You have nothing to be sorry for, Nina. And certainly nothing to be ashamed of. That woman, she was out of line. His thumb brushed lightly against her cheek, and Nina's breath hitched. His touch was warm, comforting. For a moment, the opulence of the hotel, the sting of Angela's words, everything faded away. There was only Ninong Joey, looking at her with an intensity that made her heart race. Tara, he said, breaking the spell. I know the place. Mas masarap pa sa mga pagkain diyan. He led her out of the hotel, much to the surprise of the valet. They didn't take his fancy car. Instead, they walked a few blocks, the city lights a stark contrast to the glittering chandeliers they had left behind. Nina, still in her navy blue gown, felt oddly conspicuous, yet also strangely liberated. They ended up at a small, unassuming stall sa kanto, the kind that sold siopao and mami. The smell of steamed buns and hot broth filled the air. Dalawang asado siopao, manong, at dalawang special mami, Ninong Joey ordered, sounding completely at home. They sat on a small plastic stool, Nina carefully arranging her gown. It felt surreal. Kanina lang, nasa gitna siya ng alta sosyedad. Ngayon, kumakain ng siopao sa tabi ng kalsada, kasama ang ninong niyang milyonaryo. Alam mo, Nina, Ninong Joey began, as he took a bite of his siopao, nung una kitang makita, baby ka pa lang. Binyag mo. Ang liit-liit mo. Hawak ka ng mama mo and you were so teeny. A nostalgic smile played on his lips. I remember thinking, this little girl, I'll look out for her. Kahit malayo ako. Nina listened, captivated. This was a side of him she had never seen. A softer, more personal side. Tapos, nung mga 5 years old ka yata, nagbakasyon kami sa San Felipe. Nakita kita ulit. Ang likot mo. Takbo ka ng takbo. May dala akong Pringles noon, yung original. Paborito mo daw, sabi ni Martha. He chuckled. Inubos mo yung isang buong lata. Tapos, nadulas ka sa putik. Iyak ka ng iyak. Nina's eyes widened. Naaalala niya yun. Vaguely. Parang isang lumang litrato sa isip niya. Binuhat kita, Ninong Joey continued, his gaze distant, lost in the memory. Ang dumi-dumi mo na. Pero tawa ka na ng tawa ulit nung nilinis kita. You had this bright, infectious love. He looked at her then, a fond smile on his face. Matagal ko nang hindi naririnig yun. A comfortable silence settled between them as they ate. For the first time since she arrived in Manila, Nina felt genuine sense of peace. The siopao was delicious, the mami warm and comforting. But it wasn't just the food. It was being with Ninong Joey, here, in this simple place, sharing stories. As Ninong Joey was animatedly telling another story about his own clumsy childhood mishap, dab of ketchup from his siopao landed squarely on his chin. He didn't notice it. Without thinking, Nina reached out with a napkin and gently wiped it off. Ninong, may dumi po kayo. He blinked, surprised by her sudden action. Then, he saw the ketchup on the napkin and his face broke into sheepish grin. Ay, nga. Salamat, Nina. And then, Nina did something she hadn't done in a very, very long time. She laughed. It's real, genuine love that came from deep within. It startled both of them. Ninong Joey's eyes widened slightly, then softened. He just watched her, a small, almost tender smile on his face. There it is, he murmured, almost to himself. That love. Nina's laughter died down, replaced by a sudden wave of shyness. Nag-iwas siya ng tingin, pero naramdaman niya ang pagbilis ng tibok ng puso niya. This was new. This feeling. It was warm, tingly, and a little bit scary. Kilig. Definitely kilig. And for the first time, seeing Ninong Joey not as the imposing benefactor, but as this kind, sometimes clumsy, and surprisingly down-to-earth man, she thought, ang cute niya pala. The thought sent a fresh wave of heat to her cheeks. Mali. This was wrong. He was her Ninong. Her guardian. But her heart, it seemed, had a mind of its own. Tonight, something had shifted. The wall between them, though still there, had a few more cracks. And through those cracks, dangerous, yet undeniably sweet, light was beginning to shine. The aftermath of the gala and the siopao night left an invisible hum in the mansion's quiet air. Nina found herself replaying Ninong Joey's stories, his laughter, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled. Hindi na siya kasing ilag dito. She'd even initiate small talk sometimes, asking about his day, or sharing a funny observation Manang Tess made. He, in turn, seemed more relaxed around her, the earlier formality slowly chipping away. Pero kasabay ng munting kasiyahan, may takot. Takot sa nararamdaman niyang hindi dapat. One sweltering afternoon, after helping Manang Tess prepare ingredients for dinner, Nina felt unusually lightheaded. The kitchen seemed to sway. Okay ka lang, Hija? Manang Tess asked, noticing her pale face. Opo, Manang. Medyo nahilo lang po. Akyat lang po muna ako sa kwarto, Nina managed to say, forcing a smile. She thought a quick shower would help. But as the cool water cascaded over her, the dizziness intensified. Her head throbbed, and a wave of nausea hit her. Nagdilim ang paningin niya. The last thing she remembered was reaching out for the wall, her legs giving way. When Nina regained consciousness, she was lying on her bed, a cool, damp cloth on her forehead. Ang sakit ng ulo niya. Dahan-dahan niyang iminulat ang mga mata. And her heart leaped. Ninong Joey was sitting on a chair beside her bed, his face etched with worry. His usually neat hair was slightly disheveled, and his polo shirt was unbuttoned at the collar. He looked stressed. Nina! Thank God, gising ka na, he breathed out, relief washing over his features. Anong nangyari? Manang Tess found you on the bathroom floor. Nahilo po ako tapos hindi ko na po alam, she whispered, her voice weak. She tried to sit up, but a fresh wave of dizziness hit her. Dahan-dahan lang. Ninong Joey was instantly by her side, gently pushing her back down. His hand lingered on her shoulder, warm and strong. You have a fever. Mataas. I already called Dr. Ramos, he's on his way. Fear pricked at her. Doctor. Nako, wag na po, Ninong. Okay lang po ako. Pagod lang siguro. Ayaw niyang makaabala pa. Ayaw niyang maging pabigat. Nina, you fainted. Hindi yan, pagod lang, he said firmly, but his eyes were soft with concern. Don't worry about anything, okay? Just rest. See. Ed Ramos arrived shortly, a kind, elderly man. After a quick examination, he confirmed it was a nasty flu, aggravated GI fatigue and probably stress. He prescribed some medicine and advised complete bed rest. Throughout the evening, Ninong Joey barely left her side. Manang Tess brought up a tray of lugaw, but Nina barely touched it. Si Ninong Joey ang nagpumilit na subuan siya, kahit na nahihiya siya. Kailangan mong kumain para lumakas ka, he said, his voice gentle but insistent. Later, when her fever spiked again, she started shivering uncontrollably despite the thick blankets. Ninong Joey sat on the edge of her bed, his brow furrowed with worry. He kept replacing the cool compress on her forehead, his touch surprisingly gentle. Malamig ang lamig, she mumbled, her teeth chattering. Without a word, he took her hand. His hand was so warm, so comforting. She clung to it, drowning person aninao sa isang pirasong kahoy. The night was a blur of feverish dreams and waking moments of hazy awareness. In one of those moments, when the fever was at its peak and she felt like she was burning up and freezing at the same time, she felt cool cloth on her hair, then the sensation of water and gentle fingers massaging her scalp. She blinked her eyes open. Ninong Joey was carefully, tenderly, washing her hair with a basin of lukewarm water and a washcloth. Her long hair, usually her pride, was matted with sweat. He was so focused, his expression a mixture of concern and an almost painful tenderness. Ninong, she whispered, her voice raspy. The intimacy of the act, his closeness, the unexpected gentleness of his large hands in her hair, it was overwhelming. Nanginginig siya, at hindi lang dahil sa lagnat. It's okay, Nina. Para gumaan ang pakiramdam mo, he murmured, his voice a low rumble. He carefully rinsed her hair, making sure no soap got into her eyes. The simple act felt more profound, more caring, than anything she had ever experienced. Tears pricked her eyes. Hindi dahil sa sakit o sa lagnat. It was something else. A raw, vulnerable feeling. Bakit po ang bait niyo sakin? She managed to choke out, the words thick with unshed tears. Bakit mas ligtas ako sayo kaysa sa sarili kong magulang? The question hung in the air, heavy and raw. Ninong Joey stilled, his hands pausing in her hair. He didn't answer immediately. When he finally spoke, his voice was hoarse. Kasi responsibilidad kita, Nina. But his eyes, when they met hers, told a different story. There was something deeper there, something he wasn't saying. Later, as he was gently toweling her hair dry, she was drifting in and out of a restless sleep. In her delirium, the lines blurred. He was her Ninong, her protector, the only constant presence in this confusing new life. The fear of being abandoned, fear that had been her constant companion since her mother sent her away, resurfaced with a vengeance. Huwag mo kong iwan. Ninong, she mumbled, her hand reaching out, blindly seeking his. Please stay. He took her hand, his grip firm and reassuring. Hindi kita iiwan, Nina, he whispered, his voice thick with an emotion she couldn't decipher in her fevered state. I'm right here. The next morning, the fever had broken. Nina woke up feeling weak but clear-headed. The first thing she saw was Ninong Joey, asleep in the armchair, his head low to one side, his face still etched with worry even in sleep. Mukhang hindi siya natulog buong gabi. Spang of guilt, mixed with an overwhelming surge of something warm and fuzzy, washed over her. She slowly sat up, careful not to wake him. Her hair, clean and soft, fell around her shoulders. She remembered flashes of the night before, him washing her hair, holding her hand, his whispered promise. Ang puso niya, kumabog na naman. He stared, then slowly opened his eyes. When he saw her awake and looking at him, a tired smile touched his lips. Good morning. How are you feeling? Okay na po ako, Ninong. Salamat po sa pag-aalaga. Her voice was still a bit weak, but the gratitude was genuine. Sorry po sa abala. Wala ayun. He stood up, stretching his stiff muscles. Gusto mo ng breakfast? I'll ask Manang Tess to bring some up. Ninong, wait, Nina said, her voice suddenly stronger. This was it kailangan niyang sabihin. Hindi na niya kayang itago. The events of last night, his unwavering care, had stripped away her remaining defenses. He turned, a questioning look on his face. She took a deep breath. Her heart was hammering against her ribs. This was either brave or incredibly stupid. Kailangan po nating mag-usap. He sat back down on the edge of her bed, his expression serious. About what, Nina? She looked at her hands, then met his gaze, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and determination. Ninong, alam ko pong malito, alam kong hindi dapat. Pero, she swallowed hard. May gusto po ako sa inyo. The words hung in the air, stark and undeniable. Sakit. Kilig. Pag-asa. Takot. Lahat ng emosyon naghahalo-halo sa dibdib niya. Ninong Joy's face was unreadable. He didn't speak for what felt like an eternity. Nina's heart sank. She'd made a mistake. A terrible, terrible mistake. Gusto na niyang bawiin ang sinabi niya, pero huli na. Finally, he let out a slow breath. He looked by Ray. Lost. He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture she was starting to recognize as a sign of his inner turmoil. He opened his mouth as if to say something, then closed it again. Instead of answering, he reached out and gently, so gently, wiped a stray tear that had escaped her eye. His touch was like a brand, searing her skin. Then, he stood up abruptly. Magpahinga ka na, Nina, he said, his voice trained, carefully neutral. He didn't look at her. He walked towards the door. Ninong, she whispered, her voice trembling. Was that it? Was he going to pretend she hadn't said anything? He paused at the door, his back still to her. We'll talk later. When you're fully recovered. Then he was gone, leaving Nina alone with the echo of her confession and the deafening silence of his non-reply. She buried her face in her hands, fresh tears streaming down her cheeks. Ang sakit. Ang sakit-sakit. Pero sa gitna ng sakit, may konting kilig pa rin. He hadn't rejected her outright. He hadn't gotten angry. He just left. Later that day, Manang Tess came in with her lunch. As she was clearing the tray, Nina noticed something on the bedside table. It was a small, neatly folded piece of white cloth, the washcloth Ninong Joey had used to wipe her forehead the night before. She picked it up. It still faintly smelled of his cologne. That evening, Nina couldn't sleep. She kept replaying her confession, his reaction, the touch of his hand. Around midnight, she heard faint sounds from downstairs. Curiosity, and if desperate need for something, an answer, anything pulled her out of bed. She crept down the stairs. The main lights were off, but the soft glow from the balcony illuminated the living room. And there he was. Ninong Joey, standing alone on the balcony, staring out into the darkened city. In his hand, he was holding a small, white piece of cloth. The washcloth. He was just holding it, turning it over and over in his fingers. His silhouette against the city lights was the picture of solitary contemplation, of deep, unspoken turmoil. Nina's heart ached. Mali ba talaga? O baka may pag-asa? The cliffhanger wasn't just for her story, it was for her heart too. The days following Nina's confession were a masterclass in avoidance. Ninong Joey was suddenly an expert at it, para silang may invisible wall sa pagitan nila, mas makapal pa kesa sa pader ng mansyon. He was polite, yes, always asking if she needed anything, if she was feeling better. Pero yung mga mata niya, umiiwas. Yung mga ngiti niya, hindi na umaabot sa mata. The easy camaraderie they had started to build after the Siopaw night, the fragile connection forged during her favor, it all vanished, replaced by a strained, uncomfortable silence. Galit? Takot? Nina didn't know what to feel. Was her confession that repulsive to him? Ang sakit isipin. She tried to act normal, to go about her quiet routine, but the unspoken tension was suffocating. Bawat kibot niya, bawat salita, pinag-iisipan niya. Baka lalo siyang iwasan. Baka lalo siyang pandirian. Then, one afternoon, Angela reappeared. Like a perfectly coiffed, designer-clad bad omen. Nina was in the garden, trying to read, though her mind kept drifting back to Ninong Joey. Nakita niya ang pamilyar na pulang kotse ni Angela na pumasok sa gate. Her heart sank. Anong ginagawa niya dito? Angela sauntered into the garden, sunglasses perched on her head, a smug little smile playing on her lips. Well. Look who it is. The little Cinderellang probinsyana, still here. Nina stood up, clutching her book. Anong kailangan mo? She asked, trying to sound braver than she felt. Oh, nothing much. Just came to visit Joey. We had some unfinished business. Angela's eyes raked over Nina, a predatory gleam in them. You know, I feel a bit sorry for you, Nina. Hindi ko kailangan ng awa mo, Nina retorted, though her voice trembled slightly. Angela chuckled, a cold, unpleasant sound. Oh, but you do, darling. You really do kasi, you're so naive. She stepped closer, invading Nina's personal space. Akala mo ba special ka? Akala mo ba may something kayo ni Joey just because he's nice to you? Wala akong sinasabing ganyan. Good. Kasi wala naman talaga. Angela's voice dropped to a venomous whisper. Let me tell you a little secret, para matauhan ka na. Joey? He's just using you. Alam mo ba kung bakit kanya dinala dito sa Manila? Bakit kanya kinukupkop? Nina's blood ran cold. Anong ibig mong sabihin? Angela's smile widened, triumphant. He needed a distraction. His companion. Someone disposable. Para hindi siya ma-pressure sa mga babaeng tulad ko, mga babaeng seryoso ang habol sa kanya. You're just a convenient alibi. Bed warmer, perhaps, when he gets lonely. Hindi totoo yan. Nina cried out, horrified. The words were like slaps to her face. Bed warmer. Ginamit lang. Oh, honey, it's true. Angela pulled out her phone. With a flick of her perfectly manicured thumb, she showed Nina a photo. It was a grainy, slightly blurred picture. Pero malinaw. It was a photo of Ninong Joey, leaning over someone in bed, their faces close. The person in bed was her. It looked like it was taken through a slightly ajar door, the night he was taking care of her, maybe when he was wiping her forehead, or fixing her pillows. But angled in such a way, with the dim lighting it looked incredibly intimate. Compromising. Then Angela swiped to another photo. This one was clear. Ninong Joey, smiling, with his arm around Angela, at what looked like a fancy restaurant. They looked happy. Coupley. See? Angela purred. He has me. He's always had me. Ikaw? You're just a temporary amusement. Isang laruan. He feels sorry for you, yes. May utang na loob siya sa pamilya mo, or whatever. Pero yun lang yun. Once he gets tired of you, or once you become too problematic, she shrugged elegantly. He'll send you back to your Ahol province, or find you another Ninong. Tears streamed down Nina's face. Ang sakit. Ang hapdi. Parang pinipiga ang puso niya hanggang sa madurog. The images on the phone, Angela's cruel words, Ninong Joey's recent avoidance, it all clicked into a devastating, coherent picture. Ginamit lang siya. All his kindness, his concern, was it all a lie? An act? He's too kind to tell you to your face, of course, Angela continued, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Ayaw kanyang saktan. But someone has to tell you the truth, right? For your own good. She patted Nina's cheek, a condescending gesture. So, do yourself a favor, Hija. Pack your bags and disappear. Bago ka pa lalong masaktan. Bago ka pa niya tuluyang itapon. Nina couldn't breathe. The world was tilting. Angela's words, the photos, they were a devastating blow. Naniwala siya. Paano kung totoo lahat ng sinabi ni Angela? Paano kung yung pag-aalaga ni Ninong Joey sa kanya nung maisakit siya ay iba ang motibo? The thought made her sick to her stomach. She turned and fled, blindly running back into the mansion, Angela's mocking laughter echoing behind her. She didn't know where she was going. Basta, kailangan niyang makalayo. Sa bahay na to, sa mga alaala. Sa sakit. She found herself in her room, her hands shaking as she pulled out her old duffel bag from the closet. She started throwing her things in, the few clothes she had brought from San Philip, the old pocketbooks. Hindi niya isinama ang mga damit na bigay ni Ninong Joey. Ayaw niya ng kahit anong magpapaalala sa kanya dito. Her mind was a whirlwind of pain, confusion, and a crushing sense of betrayal. Was this guy who had been avoiding her after her confession? Dahil na-realize niyang nagiging problematic na siya. Dahil natatakot siyang baka umasa pa siya lalo. Hindi kita kayang saktan, Angela had said about Joey. Maybe this was his way of not hurting her directly, letting Angela do the dirty work. She had to leave. Now. Before he came back. Before she completely fell apart. With trembling hands, she scribbled a hasty note, leaving it on the pristine bed she never truly felt was hers. Salamat sa lahat, Ninong. Aalis na po ako. Huwag niyo na po akong hanapin. She didn't take the new phone he gave her. She didn't take any of the money he might have left for her. Dala lang niya ang sarili niya, ang basag niyang puso, at ang kakarampot na natitirang dignidad. She slipped out of the mansion like a thief in the night, even though it was broad daylight. Manang Tess was busy in the kitchen. The guards at the gate barely glanced at her. She walked, then ran, until she reached the main road. Sumakay siya ng jeep kahit hindi niya alam saan siya pupunta. Basta, palayo. The noise and chaos of the city streets were a stark contrast to the suffocating silence of the mansion. But even amidst the throngs of people at the Emmerich station, she felt utterly, devastatingly alone. Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the sweat and grime of the city. She clutched her duffel bag, her only possession, her only link to a past she could no longer return to, and a future that was terrifyingly uncertain. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Joey arrived home to an unusually quiet house. Manang Tess met him at the door, her face worried. Sir Joy, sini na po, wala na. Umalis na po. May iniwang sulat. Joy's blood ran cold. Umalis? He snatched the note from Manang Tess' hand, his eyes scanning the hastily written words. Wag niyo na po akong hanapin. Angela was here earlier, sir, Manang Tess added softly. Nakita ko silang nag-uusap ni Nina sa garden. Angela. A sudden, furious rage, an emotion Joy rarely allowed himself to feel, surged through him. What had that witch said to Nina? He remembered Nina's confession, his own cowardly avoidance, his confusion. He hadn't known what to do, how to react. He was scared, scared of his own feelings, scared of the implications, scared of hurting her. He thought giving them both space was the right thing to do. How wrong he was. Anong oras siya umalis, Manang? He asked, his voice tight. Mga 2 oras na po ang nakalipas, sir. 2 hours. She could be anywhere. A wave of panic, sharp and visceral, hit him. Nina. Alone in this city. With nothing. Because of him. Because of his indecision, his fear. He had wanted to protect her, but he had ended up causing her the greatest pain. Hindi kita kayang saktan. The irony was a bitter pill. He had, in fact, hurt her more than anyone else. Get the car ready, Manglito, he barked into the intercom, his voice hoarse. He grabbed his keys, his mind racing. Saan siya pupunta? San Felipe. Bus terminal. For the first time since Nina arrived, Joey felt an emotion so strong it almost buckled his knees, Takot. Pure, unadulterated fear. Fear of losing her. Fear that he had pushed away the one person who had, in a short span of time, managed to pierce through his carefully constructed walls and touch his guarded heart. Why did he let her go? Why was he so afraid of what he felt for her? He had been convincing himself it was responsibility, it was guilt over her circumstances, it was the promise he made to her mother, to her grandmother even, long ago. But looking at that empty room, at that heartbreakingly short note, he knew. It was more. So much more. He stormed out of the house, his face a mask of grim determination. He would find her. He had to. The cliffhanger was no longer just Nina's. It was his too. He was driving frantically through the congested streets of Manila, his heart pounding in his chest, searching for the wisp of a girl who carried more than just a duffel bag, she carried a piece of his soul. Nina, meanwhile, found herself standing at the Chautic Partas bus terminal in Cubao, the same place where her Manila nightmare, or so she thought, began. She looked at the buses bound for the north, for San Felipe. Pauwi na ba siya? Saan? Wala na siyang babalikan. But where else could she go? Tears blurred her vision as she stared at the sign that read, This San Felipe. The biting scent of provincial dust and the familiar cacophony of tricycles greeted Joey as he stepped out of his Igi in San Felipe. It had been a frantic, sleepless drive from Manila, his mind replaying every moment with Nina, every missed opportunity, every unspoken word. He'd checked every bus terminal, every possible place she might have gone, until a desperate call to Aling Martha confirmed his worst fear and his only lead. Nina was on her way back home. Or what used to be her home. He found Aling Martha at their small sari-sari store, her face a mixture of surprise and apprehension when she saw him. Hindi niya alam anong aasahan. Galit? Pagsisisi? Joey? Anong ginagawa mo dito? Aling Martha asked, wiping her hands on her duster. Sini na po, Aling Martha? Nakausap niyo po ba? Nandito na po ba siya? Joy's voice was urgent, laced with an exhaustion that went beyond the physical. Aling Martha sighed, her eyes filled with a weary resignation. Kararating lang kaninang madaling araw. Tulog pa. Pagod na pagod. Umiiyak. She looked at Joey, a hint of accusation in her gaze. Ano bang nangyari sa Maynila, Joey? Akala ko ba aalagaan mo siya? Joey felt a fresh wave of guilt. He deserved that. Kasalanan ko po, Aling Martha. Everything. Nagkamali po ako. I was confused. Natakot po ako. He took deep breath, steeling himself for what he was about to do. This wasn't just about finding Nina anymore. This was about making things right, or at least, trying to. Aling Martha, he began, his voice surprisingly steady despite the turmoil inside him. He looked her straight in the eye. And then, to her utter shock, Joey, the wealthy businessman from Manila, knelt on the dusty ground in front of her humble store. Patawarin niyo po ako. Sa lahat ng naging pagkukulang ko kay Nina. Sa lahat ng sakit na naidulot ko sa kanya. Aling Martha gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Joey! Tumayo ka dyan. Ano ba yan? Several onlookers from the nearby houses had started to gather, their curious gazes fixed on the scene. But Joey remained kneeling. Hindi po, Aling Martha. Hanggat hindi niyo po ako napapatawad. At maihihilingin pa po sana ako. Her eyes narrowed. Ano iyon? Gusto ko pong ligawan si Nina. Nang totoo. Nang tapat. His voice was earnest, filled with a sincerity that was undeniable. Alam ko pong malaki ang agwat ng edad namin. Alam ko pong ninong niya ako. Pero, Aling Martha, mahal ko po si Nina. Mahal na mahal. The confession hung in the humid air, silencing the murmurs of the onlookers. Aling Martha stared at him, her expression unreadable. Mahal? Ang ninong, mahal ang inaanak. This was unheard of. Scandalous, even in their small town. For a long moment, Aling Martha didn't speak. Then, her face hardened. Hindi, Joey, she said firmly, her voice laced with pain that mirrored Nina's. Hindi pwede. Tama na. Sobra na ang sakit na dinanas ng anak ko dahil sa mga desisyon ko, dahil sa'yo. Ayoko nang madagdagan pa. She remembered the Kitor's meal, the reason she sent Nina away. Akala niya para sa ikabubuti. Pero, hindi ko nahahayaang masaktan pa ulit si Nina. Lalo na ng isang bagay na alam nating dalawa na mali. Joey's heart sank. He had expected resistance, but the finality in her voice was like death knell. He felt crushing despair. Maybe this was it, maybe he deserved this. He was about to stand, defeated, when a soft voice cut through the tension. Miney! Everyone turned. There, standing at the doorway of their small nipa hut, was Nina. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her face pale, but there was new strength in her stance, quiet determination that hadn't been there before. Nakita niya lahat. Narinig niya lahat. She walked slowly towards them, her gaze fixed on Joey, who was still kneeling on the ground. Her heart ached at the sight of him, so vulnerable, so unlike the powerful man she knew. And yet, so much like the man who had tenderly washed her hair, who had held her hand through feverish night, whose presence on the balcony holding her washcloth had given her sliver of hope. Aling Martha looked at her daughter, then back at Joey. Nina, pumasok ka na sa loob. Kami na ang mag-uusap ni Guy. Hindi po, Ma, Nina said, her voice surprisingly firm. She stopped right in front of Joey. She looked down at him, and her eyes, though still tinged with pain, also held a dawning understanding. And something else, love. Tumayo ka na dyan, Ninong, she said softly. Joey looked up at her, his eyes filled with desperate hope. Nina, She offered him her hand. He took it, his fingers closing around hers, a lifeline. As he stood up, their eyes locked. In that gaze, 1,000 unspoken emotions passed between them. Nina then turned to her mother, her hand still holding Joey's. Ma, alam ko pong nag-aalala kayo. Alam ko pong marami na akong pinagdaanan. Pero, she took deep breath. Hindi niya ako binili, Mati. Her gaze flickered to Joey, a small, tremulous smile on her lips. Pinili niya ako. She remembered Angela's cruel words, the doctored photos. For a moment, doubt had consumed her. But seeing Joey here, kneeling, begging for forgiveness, confessing his love in front of everyone, it was truth more powerful than any lie Angela could concoct. He wouldn't do this if he didn't mean it. He wouldn't humiliate himself this way if his feelings weren't real. At pinipili ko rin po siya, Nina continued, her voice gaining strength. She looked at the shocked faces of their neighbors, then back at her mother. Kung ang pagmamahal sa kanya ay mali, siguro po, ayoko nang maging tama. Aling Martha was stunned into silence. Her daughter, her quiet, subservient Nina, was standing up for herself, for her feelings, for this unconventional love. There was fire in Nina's eyes she hadn't seen before, a resilience forged in pain and now, in hope. Later that day, the tension still thick but no longer hostile, they all sat down for a meal. Si Bunso, Michael, who was now walking with a slight limp but otherwise healthy and cheerful, sat between Nina and Joey. It was the first time Joey had seen him since the operation. The boy chattered happily, oblivious to the undercurrents of adult emotions swirling around him. Nina cooked sinigang, Joey's favorite. They ate in relative silence, but it wasn't the uncomfortable silence of before. It was a silence of contemplation, of unspoken questions, of fragile beginnings. Joey found himself watching Nina, the way she gently spooned rice onto Bunso's plate, the quiet grace in her movements, the strength that now radiated from her. Mas lalo siyang humanga. Mas lalo siyang nahulog. Aling Martha mostly picked at her food, her gaze often drifting to Nina and Joey, their clasped hands a silent testament to their decision. After the meal, as Nina and Joey were clearing the table, Aling Martha stood beside the window of their small kitchen, her back to them. She watched them, a single tear tracing its path down her weathered cheek. She didn't wipe it away. Was this right? Was this wrong? She didn't know anymore. All she knew was that her daughter, for the first time in a long time, looked happy. Truly happy. And maybe, just maybe, that was all that mattered. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over San Felipe, Joey knew this was just the beginning. Marami pa silang haharapin. Judgment from others, their own internal struggles, the complexities of the relationship. But looking at Nina, who turned to him with a tentative but radiant smile, he felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. Pag-asa. Gulat. And an overwhelming love. He had come to San Felipe to find Nina. He had found her. And in doing so, he had also found a piece of himself he thought he had lost forever. 1 year. Isang taon na ang lumipas. Ang daming nagbago. The sterile white walls of the hospital ward had become a familiar sight to Nina. But now, she walked its halls not as the patient's worried sister, nor as a lost girl seeking refuge, but as Nurse Nina Reyes, Ra. Her name badge gleamed proudly on her crisp, white uniform. After Joey had smoothed things over with Aling Martha, a long, difficult process filled with tears, apologies, and eventually, hesitant acceptance, he had wholeheartedly supported Nina's dream of pursuing nursing. Hindi na tagong-alaga. She was his partner, his love, and now, the professional healer. She was just finishing her rounds, a comforting smile on her face as she adjusted the drip of an elderly patient. Okay lang po yan, Lola Mercy. Konting tiis na lang po. Sabi nga po ng isang mahalagang tao sa buhay ko, kahit gaano kahirap, kakayanin basta't may pag-asa. She winked, quoting one of Joey's oft-repeated encouragements to her during her most challenging days in nursing school. Lola Mercy smiled weakly. Ang swerte naman ng mahalagang tao na iyan sa'yo, Hija. Ang bait mong bata. Nina's heart warmed. Swerte rin po ako sa kanya, Lola. Life with Joey in Manila was no longer a gilded cage. It was home. Their home. Hindi sila nagpakasal sa simbahan, walang granding seremonya. Their union wasn't defined by a piece of paper or lavish party, but beside the quiet understanding, the shared laughter, the comforting silences, and the unwavering support they gave each other. Their love, once a forbidden whisper, was now a steady, reassuring hum in their everyday lives. Pinili nila ang isa't isa, and every day, they continued to choose each other. Tonight was special. It was Joey's birthday. Si Nina ang nag-asikaso ng lahat. A simple dinner at home, just the two of them. She had cooked his favorite, sinigang na hipon, extra asim, just the way he liked it. A skill honed from her early days in his kitchen when she was still the silent, grieving girl from San Felipe. Pag-uwi ni Joey, he was greeted by the aroma of food and the sight of Nina, beaming, holding a small, slightly lopsided cake. Hindi perpekto pero gawa niya. On top, instead of the usual flowers or candles, was teeny, edible jeepney. Joey's eyes crinkled at the corners, his smile wide and genuine. Jeepney cake. How did you know? Nina loved. Secret. Happy birthday, mahal. The endearment still sent a thrill through her, sweet reminder of how far they'd come. Salamat, mahal ko. He pulled her close, kissing her soundly. The kiss was gentle, full of love and gratitude. This is the best birthday ever. After dinner, as they sat on the balcony, the city lights twinkling below them like fallen stars, the same balcony where he once stood alone, clutching her washcloth. Lost in turmoil, Nina handed him a small, wooden box. It was old, the wood slightly weathered, familiar. Ano to? Joey asked, intrigued. Buksan mo, Nina urged, her eyes soft. He carefully opened the box. Inside, nestled on a piece of faded cloth, wasn't jewelry or some expensive gift. It was a collection of small, seemingly random items, a smooth, gray stone from the river in San Felipe, dried sampaguita flower, a teeny, folded paper boat, and a slightly blurry, old photograph. It was the picture of a much younger Joey, grinning, with teeny, 5-year-old Nina perched on his lap, her arms wrapped tightly around his neck, her face buried in his shoulder. She looked like she was afraid of something. Joey stared at the photo, a lump forming in his throat. He remembered that day. May malakas na kulog at kidlat noon sa San Felipe. Nina had been terrified, crying, until he picked her up and held her close, whispering assurances that he wouldn't let anything harm her. Siya pala yung batang takot sa kulog, na yumakap sa kanya na parang siya ang pinakamatibay na pader sa buong mundo. Naaalala mo? Nina whispered, her voice thick with emotion. He nodded, unable to speak, his eyes misty. Yan yung unang beses na naramdaman kong ligtas ako, Ninong. Joey. She smiled, a tear escaping her eye. Kahit nung bata pa ako, kahit hindi ko pa naintindihan, ikaw na pala yung naging kanlungan ko. Then, he saw a neatly folded piece of paper at the bottom of the box. He picked it up. It was a letter written in Nina's familiar, neat handwriting. Mahal kong Joey, it began. Happy birthday. Hindi ko alam kung paano sisimulan to, kasi ang dami kong gustong sabihin. Ang dami kong gustong ipagpasalamat. Salamat sa pagtitiwala. Salamat sa pag-aalaga noon at ngayon. Salamat sa pagtuturo sa akin kung paano mangarap ulit, kung paano tumayo sa sarili kong mga paa. You saw something in me that even I couldn't see back then. Nakita mo yung Nina na pwedeng maging nurse, yung Nina na pwedeng sumaya ulit. Alam kong marami tayong pinagdaanan. Maraming sakit, maraming takot, maraming pag-aalinlangan. Maraming nagsabi na mali tayo. Na hindi tayo bagay. Na imposible. Pero pinatunayan natin sa kanila at sa sarili natin na ang pag-ibig, walang pinipiling edad, walang pinipiling pagkakataon. Mas matanda ka sa akin. Pero dahil sa'yo, naging mas matatag ako. Tinuruan mo akong harapin ang mundo ng may tapang at pag-asa. Tinuruan mo akong mahalin ang sarili ko para kaya ko ring magmahal ng iba ng buo. Salamat sa pagiging tahanan ko, Joy. Sa gitna ng lahat ng gulo, sa gitna ng lahat ng unos, ikaw ang naging payapa kong daungan. Ikaw ang naging liwanag ko sa dilim. Mahal na mahal kita. Noon, ngayon at habang buhay. Nagmamahal. Nina Lee. Joy's vision blurred. Tears streamed freely down his face as he finished reading the letter. He pulled Nina into a fierce embrace, burying his face in her hair, inhaling her familiar scent. Paghihilom, kilig, pag-ibig. Lahat ng yun nararamdaman niya. Ako dapat ang magpasalamat sa'yo, Nina, he whispered, his voice choked with emotion. You saved me. You showed me what real love is. You are in my home. They stood there for a long time, wrapped in each other's arms, under the soft glow of the balcony light and the silent witness of the city skyline. The wooden box, filled with memories and a love story that defied expectations, rested on the table beside them. Their hands found each other, fingers intertwining, silent promise of forever. No grand declarations were needed. Their story wasn't a fairy tale, free of pain or mistakes. It was real, messy, and beautifully imperfect. It was a testament to the healing power of love, the courage to choose happiness, and the strength found in a love that was, against all odds, meant to be. The journey had been tumultuous, filled with heart touch and doubt. But as they looked at each other, their eyes reflecting deep, abiding love, they knew. Kung ikaw ang mali, ayoko ng tama. At sa piling ng isa't isa, natagpuan nila ang kanilang tamang-tama. Naiintindihan ko po na parang gusto nyo pa ng karugtong. Base po sa ating napag-usapan na outline, ang chapter 7 na po ang ating happy ending at formal na pagtatapos ng kwento ni Nina at Joey. Kumpleto na po natin ang lahat ng chapters ayon sa plano. Kung mayroon po kayong nais na bagong ipagawa o idadagdag, halimbawa, baka gusto nyo ng isang maikling epilogue o isang key after story scene, o kung mayroon kayong ibang katanungan o feedback tungkol sa kwentong natapos, sabihin nyo lang po. Handa po akong tumulong sa susunod ninyong request. Ano po ang nasa isip ninyo? Mahal kong mga mambabasa. Una sa lahat, mula sa kaibuturan ng aking puso, maraming salamat. Salamat sa inyong oras, sa inyong pagsubaybay, at sa pagsama ninyo sa paglalakbay ni Nina at Joy, mula sa mapait na simula hanggang sa matamis nilang pagwawakas. Bawat read, bawat comment, kung meron man sa isip ninyo, bawat reaction, lahat yan ay malaking bagay para sa isang manunulat na tulad ko. Isang emosyonal na roller coaster ang pagsulat ng kwentong ito. May mga pagkakataong napapangiti ako habang tinatype ang mga kilig di moments nila, may mga oras na parang dinudurog din ang puso ko kasabay ng mga pagsubok na hinarap nila, lalo na ni Nina. Para bang naging tunay na mga kaibigan ko sina Nina at Joy, sinamahan ko sila sa kanilang takot, pagkalito, tampuhan, selos, at higit sa lahat, sa kanilang pag-asa at lumalagong pag-ibig. Ang bawat chapter ay parang isang maliit na piraso ng kanilang buhay na ibinahagi ko sa inyo. Ang pinakalayunin ko sa kwentong ito ay hindi lang magbigay ng isang simpleng love story. Nais kong iparating na ang pag-ibig ay may iba't ibang anyo, at minsan, dumarating ito sa mga hindi inaasahang pagkakataon at sa mga taong hindi natin akalain. Na ang tunay na pagmamahal ay kayang lampasan ang anumang hadlang, agwat sa edad, estado sa buhay, o mapanghusgang mata ng lipunan. Sana, sa kwento ni Nina at Joy, may napulot kayong aral tungkol sa pagpapatawad, hindi lang sa iba, kundi pati na rin sa sarili. Tungkol sa katapangan na harapin ang bukas, kahit gaano pa ito kakomplikado. At tungkol sa pag-asa, na kahit sa pinakamadilim na sitwasyon, laging may sisikat na liwanag, lalo na kung hahayaan nating magmahal at mahalin tayo. Nais ko ring ipakita ang lakas ng isang babae, tulad ni Nina, na kahit dumaan sa matinding sakit at pakiramdam na walang kwenta, ay nagawang bumangon, lumaban, at hanapin ang sarili niyang halaga at kaligayahan. Kung may isang bagay kayong dadalhin mula sa kwentong ito, sana ay yung mensahe na, huwag matakot magmahal ng totoo, kahit pa ito'y di mali sa tingin ng iba. Ang puso kapag tumibok ay may sariling katwiran. At ang bawat isa sa atin ay deserving ng isang pag-ibig na magiging tahanan natin. Kung nagustuhan ninyo ang kwento ni Nina at Joy, huwag po kayong mahiyang i-share ito sa inyong mga kaibigan o kakilala na mahilig din sa mga ganitong uri ng kwento. At syempre, gustong-gusto kong marinig ang inyong mga saloobin. Ano ang paborito niyong eksena? Sinong karakter ang tumatak sa inyo? Anong naramdaman ninyo habang binabasa ito? Your feedback means the world to me. Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita sa mga susunod pang kwento. Maraming salamat ulit and always choose love.